So after he went to this mining academy and graduated in 1860, he began working at a mine, and I cannot pronounce the name, whatever it is, it's in French. It's very long. But he did, during his time at the mine, he studied the cases of underground fires, how to prevent them, how to fight them, how to reclaim mining areas that had been burned, and developed a knowledge of the structure of the basin. Then he also developed these functions of management, 5 functions of management. Do you want to talk about these at all?
Wait, we can have a cycle through. We can talk about it, but here I'll do this slide, and we should try to relate it. His function management or planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, which those two have lately been more merged because to command and coordinate are almost synonyms to begin with, right? Managing might be a better term for the juncture of them. And controlling. The control function isn't so much as a hard-handed control. It's from the French word controller. It holds that a manager requires feedback to adjust or control, and therefore must analyze for deviation. Something starts happening. They must know about it, therefore they can recommend a situation. That is what control means in this context.
And now we have Phil's first 7 principles. Now, subordinating of individual interests. So this is a step that he developed. I mean, this guy is brilliant. All right, he thinks about every individual worker as his own thing. He's not big corporate America, right? Everybody's little ants on the big king, right? No. So he separated it in different ways. One of which was that they need to work on goals. Everybody needs to have their own little sect, and they need to work on their own individual goals. Whether it be marketing team, they need to work on their marketing goal. Sales team, they need to sell. All right, just simple things like that that we think of today were big during that time. And then we also have authority. All right, managers hold the authority position. They're the minds, they're the thinkers. They put everyone together and make sure that they're working. Of course, again, another simple thing that wasn't thought of. Centralization, making sure that there is a single power. There's not just multiple different things, but there is still that one power. There is different groups and sects, but they all come back to that one main power. And then you have division of labor. So here's the specialization, like I said, with marketing, saleswomen, all that. Those are just different specializations. And now we have the unity of command. So this is where the bosses and the managers come together to form different ideas and agreements upon different topics. And then you have the unity of direction, make sure that the goals are all going to one central point. The marketing team isn't making marketing stuff that the sales team can't sell, right? And the manager's not telling both of them to be able to work together and combine it. They got to make sure that they're doing the same thing. So if you're trying to sell a house, the marketing team's going to come up with ways saying, hey, we have better prices, and then the sales team could go and say, hey, have you seen this commercial about us for better prices? And okay, your discipline, right? Your higher command has got to be able to discipline your different teams, whether they're not contributing to their job, they're not working hard enough, or they're just off in a blank space, right? So those are just 7 of the principles right away that he came up with. Very smart guy, definitely thinking of the individual as well as the workplace to be more efficient.
All right, and then the next 7, he came up with. The first one was order. So the company obviously has to be a little bit more organized to stay efficient and all that. You can't really run a company with chaos or anything. Equity. So this kind of is more of a moral principle. Based on like treating everybody how you'd like to be treated, all that stuff, being nice to each other. Bosses not being rude to employees, and those treating bosses with respect. And then esprit de corps.
Esprit de corps.
Okay. That's along the lines of having pride in your company. So, having a sense of like happy that you're working for that company, proud of the work you're doing, and all that stuff. Really helps the company grow. And then initiative. It just allows people to grow and take stuff into their own hands and move up within the company. And then grammaration. I don't want to pronounce anything wrong, but grammaration.
Remuneration.
Remuneration. So that's
Remuneration.
pretty much to, you know, increase productivity, motivate employees, all that fun stuff. And then solar chain, it's usually it is like the tiers and the levels that are whatchamacallit, like the lower workers, the managers, the boss, and then like the boss's boss, and stability of tenure and personnel, which is pretty much along the lines of job security and being able to, you know, feel secure within a job that you're not going to be like fired tomorrow or something like that.
Okay. So, for this slideshow, these are references.
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
These are references for the slideshow.
Yeah, also, while we're transitioning here, so the tenure that we mentioned as well, you probably heard it with teachers. Teachers get tenured, right? They can have a lot of responsibility and stuff like that, but they also are protected from their jobs. I knew many tenured teachers when I was going to school in Florida for high school, and a lot of them said that they could do anything they wanted. They could do basically anything as long as it wasn't illegal. So if they wanted to use language that was inappropriate in the classroom, they could. They'd be safe.
Hell
Things
no.
Such as that. There you go. There's an example right there. But sometimes it can like lead to more influential things.
The original purpose for tenure was so that faculty could operate freely on their research without worrying that whatever results came about as a result of their research wouldn't be blocked because of a donor for a college.
Is that like a region-based thing? Because I've never heard of that around here, like a teacher's tenure. Like they seem like they could.
Tenure is going more by the wayside, especially at community colleges. It is probably about 50% or less of university teachers are still tenured. Unfortunately, it does put teachers at risk, and it puts the quality of research at risk. You have to question who's. I took part in a study at University of Oregon, and it was sponsored by a private corporation, and they didn't like the results that were found from the research, so they scrapped the whole thing, and it didn't get published because they didn't like that it didn't support their product. And that's just wrong.
So, and then the tenure would support the teacher on that aspect.
Exactly.
Just can't.
Yeah.
Well, they could just rename it.
We've had teachers fired because there's not here for that. That was for a viable reason. But at University of Oregon, teachers were not renewed with their contract because their research didn't jive with what the college's plan was.
So basically, if you don't follow the college, you're not going to
You're
have a
gonna-
job. Very
Exactly. Which in the real world, that's how it works.
That's true.
Go to.
Except for certain companies, but those are outliers, right? That's not the main focus yet. And to be honest, sometimes when they go to that far reaches of their work, it's not.
Okay, we've already done the early
So
life.
this is just a picture of the bridge that led his family to Turkey where he was born.
Okay.
This is the abridged version.
A couple.
Okay, here we are.
So towards the half part of Henry Fayol's life, as he worked for the CEO for this company, he worked to improve the workers' lives, or the working situation of the workers. Towards the end of his, towards the end of his life, he retired from CEO and he passed on to his successor, but he continued his academic studies. He worked to deepen the theories of his theories. He published in 1916. He published industrial and general administration. It discusses the 5 functions of management, which we talked about. In 1921, he published the Industrial Incapacity of the State, which defends free enterprise over state intervention. Later, he passed away on November 19th of 1925. After his death, his book, The Industrial and General Administration, was translated into English. But it didn't really have an impact in the Americas till 1949 when it was republished in English. And there's those references.
Okay. Go back, if you would please, to the 5 areas of focus.
5 functions.
5 functions.
5 functions, yeah.
There you go.
Okay, planning has picked up coordinating and commanding is now leadership. So the current, it's 4: planning, organizing, leadership, and controlling, just to let you know.
So they just combine coordinating?
Yeah,
Because it's the same as planning.
exactly.
I understand.
And then commanding, because that doesn't sound very nice, leading is a much friendlier term. So we use this same breakdown basically today, even though it was more than 100 years ago. We've come a long way, baby. Not. Okay, thank you very much.
So, they combine these, commanding and coordinating, or coordinating and
Planning and coordinating. And then commanding became leadership.
Coordinating and planning are the same thing. This just takes the step of
Whatever I
when you're
whatever I
gonna do
read,
it.
clumped commanding and coordinating.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
There you go, yeah. Also,
But it wasn't until probably the 70s that they did that, so it was after.
Right.
well, I mean,
Very good.
yeah,
Thank you.
The
Okay.
info survived the world.
Team Oranges, you're on.
You might have like a lot of miscellaneous files of our submissions.
I can tell.
What? Yeah, we didn't see any of that, right? Camera was off.
La la
Can we
la
cut
la
that?
la.
Can we strike that from the video?
Ironically though.
Right now, there's a live feed on YouTube,
Oh, really?
at least until the battery runs out.
Fantastic.
Are you marketing?
I'm ready to be informed.
Max. Marketing your class?
Weber,
Oh, technically not this one, no. I'm teaching this one as a favor. Is it just the 2 of you? Where's the rest of your group?
I was going.
Has it always been just the 2 of you?
No, Madison wasn't going to be here today.
Addison, that's right. But she gave you her pieces. Okay, good. Okay,
You need an extra hand.
go for it.
So Max, most people say Weaver, but it's Weber. He was born April 12th in Erfurt, Germany, and then he died June 14th, 1920, because of pneumonia. As I covered, his last name is Weber. He is the eldest son of Max and Helen, and he's the oldest boy of 7 children.
In all the times that I've had to be forced to learn about him, it's the first time I realized I've been pronouncing his name wrong this whole time.
So
He's going to stay Weber, sorry.
like a V in front of it?
Yeah, VA,
Weber?
in Germany,
Yeah.
in German. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
So he grew up in a household of politics. His father was a prominent politician and civil servant. He enrolled at the University of Heidelberg as a law student in 1882, but he also attended like economics classes and medieval history classes.
By choice,
By
that's
choice,
kind
by
of
choice.
scary.
And then he moved back home to study at the University of Berlin in 1886 and passed an exam called the Referendar,
Referendar.
which is equal to a bar exam. And I don't know what the bar exam is.
It's
It's
for
for lawyers.
lawyers, law.
And his first engagement was to his cousin Emmy, his cousin Emmy Baumgartner, and she was mentally and physically ill, which made it hard for him to live with her. And so after 6 years, he divorced her, and then he married his distant cousin Marianne. She was an author and feminist, and later she
Mhm. That's
commissioned
correct.
after the Treaty of
Versailles. Versailles.
Versailles. He was in favor of Article 48 of the Weimar Constitution, and Hitler used his articles later to declare martial law and seize dictatorial powers.
Okay, so who's founder of the theory of bureaucratic the organization theory? So the definition of bureaucracy is an organizational structure that is characterized by many rules, standardized processes, procedures, and requirements of desk, meticulous division of labor, responsibility, clear hierarchies, and professional, almost impersonal interactions between employees. So the first thing, first of this theory is task specialization. So he's divided the task he's divided each thing into individual tasks based on the employee's ability and what they fit best in. So an example would be like Jayco trailers. They do like this line. So one thing is done here, the next thing's done here. So if an employee is good at one thing, they'll probably specialize in that. And this helps because it allows managers to easily pick out when an employee is not doing something or what they're not supposed to be doing. And then also through this, you're not allowed to go beyond your responsibilities. So, second of the theory is hierarchical of authority. So, there are many positions in bureaucracy. So each section of management is responsible for the overall performance, and that so the hierarchy of authority is a system in which different positions are related, lord, presidents, and in which the highest rung on the ladder has the greatest power. So someone working on a trailer would be below the manager, floor manager, and then someone's above the floor manager. So it just allows better control of the company and better management. And then third is formal selection. So your salary is dependent on your position. So a floor manager would be paid more than a full employee putting similar parts, and then so on and so forth. The higher up you are, the more you get paid. And that also comes through the more training and your previous experience, so you can move up the ladder and get higher. So fourth is rules and requirements. Rules and requirements are in place so employees can know exactly what they're required to do and what they're expected of them through the company. So they are considered predictable, so all the rules are predictable. That way everyone knows what their responsibilities are. And then enforcing strict rules helps create uniformity. Rules are stable and formalized. So then fifth is impersonal. So regulations are clear requirements and create distance and personal relationships between employees with the additional advantage of preventing nepotism or involvement from outsiders or politics. Decisions are made upon rational decisions rather than personal decisions. And then the last one is career orientation. Employees are selected by area of expertise. This allows for optimal use of human capital. This offers lifetime employment and helps further grow employees in their selected field, allowing them to become experts in that field and significantly improve their performance.
Okay, thank you very much. After hearing that, you can see why bureaucracy has become a bad word.
Yeah.
It wasn't designed that way at the beginning. It was designed that way so that people would be treated fairly. Because at first, people were hired based on who they knew specifically.
Nepotism.
Exactly. So it would get rid of that, and it would allow everyone an equal opportunity for a position. And then it took your strengths into account, and it allowed you to perfect those strengths so that you were the expert in your field. And as you moved up and supervised others, you were helping them to build their strengths in that specific area. So it was designed to be a positive. Unfortunately, some organizations have taken bureaucracy to a level where it becomes a bad word. And that's where there's so many rules and you're so ingrained, you know, we've always done it this way. And that becomes the watch phrase for the organization. And then there's no innovation, there's no future goals. It's always how we've done it, and then when things go south, they're not prepared for change. They have people who are experts at doing things exactly how they are done, but they're not experts at how they could be done. Over the next few weeks, as we explore different theories and look at how organizational management has changed since their time period, thank goodness, we'll see how people have grown to become humans within an organization instead of just numbers. And we'll look at how you motivate people in order to help them be their best, and how different people have different needs for motivation, just to make management that much more complicated. When we get together on Wednesday, we're going to be looking at product packaging. We're going to be designing a product package. And then on Friday, we will get into employee motivation. So that's the rest of our week. Any questions or comments about today? Okay. I would say both teams got a B. You guys got a B because of reading your slides. You guys got to be, well.
I mean, if I'm gonna say something, like the fractional stuff was my fault almost entirely. Like, I only emailed 2 people of the omits I made. I didn't actually email the entire group because I wasn't paying enough attention.
I appreciate yourself. I appreciate your throwing yourself under the bus to save your teammates, but you are a team.
Yeah. It's all right. No worries.
And you guys still have A's, so it really doesn't matter. And there will be more, as Murray was, you know, am I in trouble for not being here? No, there's going to be enough other presentations and activities and things going on. It's not a big deal. If you miss once in a while, that's okay. If you miss weeks at a time, I'll be testy. And you'll be failing. So you'll be testy. Any questions or about the processes or anything that we have going on? Please make sure that you read the chapter on motivating employees before Friday. I think that's 9, 8,
Chapter 9.
9, chapter 9, okay. And now that I remember that you guys have it on computer, so I don't have to get grumbly that you guys didn't open your textbooks, I'm feeling kind of stupid still.